What's happening, party people? What's happening? And welcome to, yes, another episode of 40 Years of Hip Hop, where we review 1,000 songs, party people. And it's here, party people. Our Mixcloud platform is live. Go check it out. Of course, we are going to feed our Mixcloud platform with more. However, we do have some music that you could just vibe to. Check it out and enjoy, party people. And enjoy. Yes, so today, party people, we are going to be reviewing Buddy from De La Soul featuring the Jungle Brothers and Q-Tip from the album 3 Feet High and Rising, which was released in 1989. But party people, before we get into this, let's take a look at Mr. Ron's week. That's right. So, of course, party people, as I'm recording this, it's Halloween week. So, all your freaky deakies out there, have fun. Because I remember, Halloween night. Yeah, a lot of parties, and have fun, party people. Keep it safe, of course, You gotta keep it safe. And just in the news, I don't know if you guys watched The Tiger King on last year. So Joe Exotic is coming out with season 2. I should say Netflix rather is coming out with season 2. And imagine that Joe Exotic actually reached out to none other than Cardi B for assistance in order to basically get out of jail quicker. And according to Billboard, it began when the CEO of Big Cat's Rescue saw the video WAP, and there's like a bunch of tigers in it, And it's like, you love tigers, I'm the tiger guy, hook me up, Cardi B. Anyways, season 2, coming out soon on Netflix. I enjoyed season 1. I thought it was funny as hell. I don't even think that was made to be funny, but it was. Alright, so what have I been listening to? So party people, this week I have to say I dove into this album by RC and the Grits. The album is called Feel and was released in 2016. It's basically a lot of jazzy hip hop, soul, funk, and all of that is basically provided by Erykah Badu's band. Yes, so basically the musicians on RC and the Grits, they are Erykah Badu's, a group whenever she goes on tour, and pretty cool music, then again, nothing groundbreaking from my point of view, of course, but I just couldn't get myself to listen to nothing else than this album this week. And track of the week, party people, and I have to shout out the wifey for that one because she made me discover a new artist. This artist named Barka, Barkaa, and she's from Australia, I believe, and she has this track called For My Titas. Powerful track, check it out. Barka from Australia. That's right. That's cool. It's cool how hip-hop culture is basically alive in other continents, Australia. That's really cool. Really cool. So party people, don't forget to come back next week as the G-Man will be reviewing Me and My Crazy Life by the Lost Boys, which was released in 1997 from their album Love, Peace, and Nappiness. So party people, let's get back to our review. And Buddy, De La Soul, 3 Feet High and Rising. Okay, is just, again, again, I'll tell you the whole backstory of how I got the album. But the album is awesome. It's just groundbreaking material. These guys, De La Soul, you can't really hate on them. They're just a bunch of positive rappers, and supported them throughout their whole career. And even though right now I think their last release has been a while, the last release was in 2016. But you know what? Guys like De La, they're legends, you know? They are legends, you know? They changed the hip-hop game, and this review is actually going to make you understand why. Originality, party people. Is this song original, and if so, how? Well, originality, this song is really the embodiment of originality, because these guys, now let me situate you a little bit. It's 1988, 89, okay? And just for, just to situate you, let's take a look at the rappers that released something in 89. You got Coogee Rap, LL, Public Enemy, of course, Chuck D, one of the greatest rappers alive, Big Daddy Kane, MC Lyte, Queen Latifah, BDP, KRS-One, So you can see, like, it's either very, like, political, hard, braggadocio, but these guys, they came out with something that was not seen ever, okay? It's the fact that these guys were borderline nerds with their weird haircuts and their ties. Again, they got labeled as hippies, which I didn't really agree with that. But whatever, I just roll with it. And for me, when I saw De La Soul, I totally related to them because they weren't gangsters. I'm not a gangster. I'm not going to try to be a gangster. And they had this sensitivity that none other rappers dared to show. And this is the reason why that I thought that De La totally stood out, especially that song too. Not only that, but their lyrics, their songs are layered, okay? Sometimes like you gotta sit down and really think about it because it's really, really smart. With Prince Paul, they basically not put skits, hip-hop skits on the map, but perfected it, right? They perfected the art of skits. But I think this album, 3 Feet High and Rising, how did it contribute to hip-hop? Of course, the whole native tongue posse, but not only that, sampling, okay? Now, of course, at that time, we were mostly around 88, 89. It's the James Brown sampling era, okay? And they went a little bit outside of that. And even though they're from, the East Coast, but they were actually sampling stuff like Parliament Funkadelic, which is usually linked to the West Coast, as you can see in the song that for sure made the list. Me, Myself, and I think that the G-Man is going to review that one real quick, So, yeah, so again, just a little fun fact. So, De La Soul was formed in 1988 by 3 high school friends in Amityville, New York. And while they were looking, they were pushing their demo, they ran into Prince Paul. And Prince Paul said, Prince Paul was already with Stetsasonic. It's like, you know what? Let me produce your album. You guys are good. You guys are original. You guys just need a little help production-wise. And the conceptual 3 Feet High and Rising came out, which is like a gigantic of an album. And if you're ahead, are you ahead? Is you? If you're ahead, then you gotta have that album. I got the vinyl. I got the CD, and the tape. I remember when it came out back then, I was still in high school. I actually traded to do, back then we used to do copies, right? So I did a copy of Kwame the Boy Genius for my man Lode. Big shout out to Lode. And he basically made me a copy of 3 Feet High and Rising. And but even that, I was already familiar with De La Soul from their EP, Jennifer Taught Me, and Plug Tuning. Plug 1, Plug 2, Plug 1, Plug 2. Anyways, party people, courtesy of Discog, and this is why, for originality, De La gets a 5. That's right, we're just starting this with a 5. Delivery, party people, which stands for lyrics and flow. So, let me go with the quotable. Now when the tribe, the jungle, and De La Soul is that the club, our ritual unfolds, grab our bones and start swinging our hands. Then Jenny starts flocking everywhere, cause Jennifer just wants to stay aware. Yo, fellas, should we keep her aware? Yeah. Scratch. Insert scratch here. So let's take a look at this. What does it mean? So when the tribe Jungle, okay, and De La is in the club, the ritual unfolds. So basically, these are the I would say like the pillar members of the native tongue. De La Soul, the Jungle Brothers, and a tribe called Quest, and they're in the club, so they're just having a good time. Grab our bones and start swinging our hands. So grab our bones actually means the African colors that we used to wear. I still rock mine. I still rock my African medallion, yo. And it looks good. I'm proud of it, Just a little reminiscence of the late 80s. Then Jenny starts flocking it everywhere because Jennifer just wants to stay aware. So Jennifer is basically a name of a girl that keeps coming back in the De La Soul mythos. And Jenny, it's basically the opposite of a Jimmy. So a guy would be, Jimmy, and a girl would be Jenny, Quite thoughtful. And you know what? I thought it was really cool, instead of using profanity, to kind of like have these little words, these quirky words that they created within their own world. Yeah, so of course, if you look at the lyrics, the delivery is, from the late 80s, from my point of view, I don't think that De La Soul reached their fully lyrical potential until after their second album. So which would be like after De La Soul is dead. Then the name of the album doesn't come to me. However, the third album, which I believe the single was Break of Dawn, you could see there was like a shift, in their style, in their craftsmen, in their words. And on top of that, especially the album after that, anyways, I'm not even gonna go there. So the delivery, party people, courtesy of Genius.com, and this is why for delivery I give it a 3.75 on 5. Production, party people, which is beat, mixing, scratching if there's any. So a nice mellow beat, nicely layered, 5 samples deep, and each sample has a purpose. Of course, produced by Prince Paul and De La. So that means De La Soul probably. So when we see this, what does that mean? So back then, right, a lot of people that are producers, they would act more like as engineers, and De La probably had an idea of what the music would sound like, what the beat would sound like, and Prince Paul was probably the one that just like put it together for them. 5 samples deep. Okay, so you have Girl, I Think the World of You by the Commodores, 1976. Written on the Wall by The Invitation, which was released in 1965. Hit or Miss by Bo Diddley, 1974. Bang Zoom, Let's Go by The Real Roxanne featuring Howie T. And Ooh Child by The Five Stair Steps, which was released in 1970, party people. So the song was basically sampled 9 times. Actually, were my choices: All Due Respect by Run the Jewels featuring Travis Barker, and Award Tour by A Tribe Called Quest. Courtesy of who sampled, party people, and this is why I give it a 3.75 on 5. Cool beat, alright. What I liked mostly about this beat is basically the layering of the samples. However, when we listen to it, I can dig it, because I'm old, right? But I don't think not a lot of people are going to be able to vibe, especially the new generation. I don't even think they'd get it, But we're going to talk about that later on. So party people, here are the top 5 tracks from the album 3 Feet High and Rising, and I cannot stress how important that album was for hip-hop, the hip-hop community, especially for skits, okay, but nonetheless for sampling, how we put the samples together, the technical aspect of sampling. So of course, and these are I love that album is very dear to me. So I'm gonna start with the magic number 3. Is the magic number what it is? It's the magic number. And number 2, I'm gonna go with I Know. You know, ah man, that song just brings me back. I Know. The sounds that they use are, wow, just amazing. Of course, I'm gonna with dum dum, meeny 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 meeny, say what? Meeny 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 me, say what? Meeny 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 me, yeah, buddy, boom boom. Me, Myself, and I, which I saw because we have a list. The G Money is gonna be reviewing it for Volume 3, definitely for Volume 4. Say No Go, and for 5. And you know what? I put a number 6. Yes. Honorable mention to all the rest of the tracks that did not make the top 5, because you need to go sit down and listen to this album if you didn't, okay? If you call yourself a hip-hop head and you've never heard of 3 Feet High and Rising, go home, sit down, go to your Spotify thing and listen to this album. Alright, party people, so before we get back into the review at 40 Years of Hip Hop, we use Buzzsprout for our podcasts. They get your show listed on every podcast platform available. We were able to get 10,000 downloads within a year, and as a Buzzsprout member, you will get a great looking podcasting platform, an audio player that you can drop into other websites, even WordPress templates. You will also benefit from detailed analytics and tools to promote your episodes, like audio video snippets of your podcast called soundbites. However, for me, my thing is that I get to generate a second revenue by talking about something that I'm passionate about. Think about it. Are you a fan of something? Try podcasting about it. It's easy, fun, and can generate a second revenue. Get started for free. No credit card required. Cancel anytime. No contracts, party people. And it doesn't stop there. You will receive a $20 Amazon gift card after your second paid invoice. Link below in our episode notes. Buzzsprout is the way to go. And now, party people, back to our review. So is this song still relevant? Was it able to stand the test of time? Well, it's one of my personal classics, okay? So of course, heads, old heads, we all know De La, we all know Buddy, and for us, it's a classic. For the younger generation, I don't know, okay? I'm not really sure that a lot of people actually know about, I'm talking about like 20-year-olds, know about De La. I'm looking again, just like social media wise, because nowadays, this is how society rolls, They have something like 250,000 IG followers, which is not much comparing to like people that have like million. YouTube, they have 1.2 million views on the video, and the video is actually the remix with Fife, because Fife is done on the original version, Moni Love, Queen Latifah, and the beat is totally different. And one thing I like to say, I saw metalheads react to it, and it was just cool to see two white people, who are not even down with hip hop, metalheads, just being able to identify with that track that is so human and so down to earth, You definitely gotta check it out. So for relevance and longevity, this is why I gave De La Buddy a 3 on 5. If you're not ahead, okay, I doubt that you're gonna know that track. Okay, I really doubt it. Because you know what, I'll tell you people, even back then, De La was, I would say, an acquired taste. So it's one of those, it's one of those that impacted me personally, impacted the hip hop community. And it was like, you know what, with that song, when De La came out, it was like accepted to be a hip hop nerd. You know, it was like cool to be like, it was cool to be different. You know, you didn't need your, like, you know, your Puma suit and your fat ropes, you know, and playing hard. You know, you could just be you and, you know, just do your thing with your weird style, and it would still work. So as this song charted, so the thing is, the song itself did not chart. The remix charted, okay? The remix went number 18 on US Billboard Hot R&B Hip Hop Songs, number 27 Hot Dance Club Play, number 2 on Hot Rap Singles, number 11 on Hot Dance Music Maxi Single Sales, and number 7 in the UK single charts. The album did really well. First of all, the album went platinum, okay, 1 million copies sold. And in the UK, the album peaked at number 13. In the US, the album peaked at number 24. And in the US top R&B and hip hop, the album actually peaked at number 1. Okay, so definitely, so there was some type of impact. And this is why, party people, I give it a 3.75 on 5. So let's do a little recap, party people. Originality 5, one of the most original groups that came out with one of the most original albums, and this track, Buddy, is one of the most original tracks on that album. For that reason, I had to give it a 5. Delivery, although, you know, the lyrics are really cool, really positive, and they kind of like have the native tongue, they kind of like have their own language. However, the flow is outdated, and this is why I had to go with a 3.75. Same thing with the production. Love it. 5 samples deep, nicely layered, okay, nicely layered. Again, totally changed the sampling game for hip hop culture. However, still, I would say a little bit on the, you know, late 80s, you know, and it's hard. It's hard for all of these guys, these pioneers that are there for the late 80s, because hip hop evolved so much. But hey, yo, you know, you got to do what you got to do, right? So for production, I will go with a 3.75. For relevance and longevity, I will hit it up with a 3. This is one of those like, yo, you had to be there. You know, you had to be there. And powerful impact, I will go with a 3.75. I mean, like, the album did go platinum. It sold in the UK and in the US. And all of that for a total of 19.25 on 25 for 77%. So party people, thank you for sharing this moment together. Subscribe, like, share, and party people, support 40 years of hip hop by buying us a coffee so that we can continue dropping this amazing weekly podcast. And tune back next week as I will be reviewing what? New York State of Mind by Nas. This is your host with the most, Mr. Ron, wishing you a happy Honolulu. Peace. And I out.